Okay, Mr. Milne here. The reason why you've got me on video is, as you will have heard, finally my son arrived. He came 3 weeks early. Harrison James Alexander Milne was born on April the 4th. Sorry, I'm just looking over to my wife for confirmation. At 106, 8 pounds 6 ounces. If you're lucky, you might even get to see him at the end of this video. Anyway, for the next 2 lessons, you'll be watching the documentary Food Inc. It was nominated for an Oscar in 2008, and it's a fantastic documentary. It didn't win that year. It was actually beaten by The Cove, if you ever saw The Cove, the one about the dolphins being slayed in Japan. So it was obviously a great year for documentaries. So you watch Food Inc. Some of you have seen it before. I know Mrs. Lindgren shows it in some of her lessons, so I apologise if you're seeing it for the second time. It's a very thought-provoking film. I don't want you to think that I'm showing it to you because I want to convert you to vegetarianism, or I'm suggesting that big companies and fast foods and pre-produced foods are evil in any way. Often when I show it, I get a very good level of feedback, and it does affect people in many ways. I've had a few people suggest that I shouldn't show it in class, but I'll let you make your own mind up. Just as a note of warning, there's a couple of scenes in the movie that might be a little bit disturbing. There's a scene in a pork factory where you'll see some pigs going down to the slaughter bed. They make a lot of noise, but then pigs make a lot of noise anyway, so don't be too disturbed by that. And there's also a scene where a farmer is shown, or his team are shown, ethically slaughtering some chickens. Again, don't be shocked by that. I'm sure nearly all of you are meat eaters, and we're not naive enough to think that our meat wasn't once an animal walking around and it has been killed in some way. However, this film will encourage you to think about how the animals are raised before they're killed and what methods are used in the slaughter. You as a consumer can make choices. You can choose to get the cheapest food. Just because it's the cheapest doesn't mean it's the best. And if we want cheap food, often we have to cut corners in order to produce it in that fashion. Some of you are lucky enough to shop at Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, and you can afford to make ethical choices. You can choose to buy it organically, you might be shopping locally, you might be growing your own produce, or even raising animals. I've certainly had a couple of students keep bees to produce their own honey. So you guys are often very fortunate in the way that you're able to make more educated food choices. You'll watch the first half of the movie today. You'll see the second half in your second lesson for this week. And in that second lesson you'll be given another Carmel Health Tribune assignment, and I'll ask for your views and your thoughts, and you'll be asked to answer some very open-ended questions. Just checking my notes here. I think I've covered everything else. Enjoy the film. I look forward to catching up with you sometime next week to see what you thought of it. Alright, here's a quick view of my son. Hang on a second. I know the boys will be bored here. Turn the camera around. Don't have to do it actually. There we go. So there's baby Harrison. His first performance on YouTube. Okay, enjoy the film.